Be kicking this off. Jerry Brown, who we are naming the MVP after this year, and Francisco Arenas is going to start a ceremony. Jerry's also going to throw out the first pitch from the oboes. From this distance, you look skinny. Jerry, always a joy to be around. So we're going to walk out here a little bit, get a few quick comments from Jerry Brown before he throws out the first pitch.
One, I gotta make it. There are two things on my mind. One, I gotta make it reach, and two, it can't be illegal. So wish me luck, good people out there. SSA is the greatest.
So how do you feel, Frank, kind of naming the MVP after you this year?
Man, you know what? It's a great honor, man. Anybody that can acknowledge, and get acknowledgement from softball, especially SSA, especially from Mr. Frank Arenas. This B Nationals was simply awesome, and I want to thank everybody, especially Frank and SSA, for this honor. I appreciate it.
So we'll see if Francisco's ready to take pictures. He's talking with the Born Divine. We got Sal from Funk going to catch the first pitch, and I know Francisco wanted to take some pictures. So
now, guess what? Now I'm nervous. At first I was fine. I wasn't thinking about it.
of course, Francisco, the tournament director this weekend, so he's got a lot on his plate. Funk and Born Divine just played a very heated game, or Born Divine, I should say, in Bullies. And I'm going to take the opportunity to go grab a lineup card. So, here comes Frank. I'm sure he's going to say a few words.
Jerry, this year's award is being named after you because you personify the playing for peace concept throughout your career. You've not only had a winning team, but you've conducted yourself on and off the field with nothing but pure class. If there's one word that could personify you, it's pure class. And I think that everyone here at the park, when we talk about your passing solutions and how you conduct yourself, two words come to mind: winning and class. So this year's award is going to be named after you, both the championship award and the most valuable player. So
I humbly accept it. I want to say thank you. I really appreciate it, man. I just try to do the best and be the best person I can outside the lines when nobody's watching. And that's the true heart of a champion. When nobody's watching, and try to do the right thing, the right time, and I try my best, and that's what I try to do. And I thanks again. I thank the SSA. I thank you, and hopefully I can get this pitch over without throwing it short or illegal.
well, we do have someone standing by in case you're a little bit short, so we can call in a relief.
Okay, no problem. I think I can handle this one.
All right,
Thank you, guys.
So there we go. So Frank is going to go take pictures. There's Jerry Brown. So we'll track the pitch from here. And a little bit outside. So with the festivities done, Joe, do you got an extra, the second lineup card, or did you give them both? Okay, here. Thank you.
I'm doing my own business.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just need it for the broadcast. Thank you. So we're finally going to get underway here. This tournament started on Thursday, played Thursday, Friday, all day today. Caught a break. I hear, unfortunately, Terry Moran got a little rain today. So hopefully whenever they reschedule that, we'll be able to get out there and we'll be able to show you that in the future. So just another thing on the plate, and we love to do it. And you might see some fireworks in the background, and while I would love to have the SSA take credit for it, I believe they have some type of a fair or festival going on here in Melrose Park this weekend. So the Bullies lost the toss. They'll be the visitors. Funk will be the home team. Funk went clean, so Bullies need to win twice in order to win the national championship. Leading off, it's going to be Christian, then Izzy, and then Church. And now they're switching bats. Not sure what the strategy is. that you was talking about. He's pointing at some fielders and who to go after. And here we go. And Nicky Marchese never been known for his patience in right field. When I was with Flashback, Jeff Gibbs Hernandez is a guy we talked about him at Papa Hops yesterday. He just never gives in. First pitch of the game, inside. And Gibbs would go 3-1, 3-2 on guys. And Nick would be in center, screaming, throw a pitch, ground ball. And they nip him by a hair, short center. Greg Winnick. If I'm not mistaken, Greg started out on that trash team. They had some good players on that team. So again, Bullies must win twice. They beat Born Divine in the get-back game. We want to congratulate Born Divine on a good weekend. They beat the Goons to get there. So Izzy stays hot. He throws a hit into center. We do have a breeze. Feels like it's blowing out to right field. Tops of the trees are moving, and we've noticed in that right center field gap, the ball has really been carrying, and here's Church.
Watch it, behind you.
And there's a little dribbler to Franklin Teen. Izzy, a good slide there. Good concentration there by Winnick. I'd like to see him on the catch move a little quicker off that bag. Short centers, don't stand there. Guys will slide and make contact with you. And here brings up Spada, the first baseman. And Spada lifts it to Marchese. He'll make that play. So top of the first, Bullies don't score. Now my concern with the Bullies is they expended a lot of physical and emotional energy in the Born Divine game. That game got a little chippy as the Bullies were behind. I think Born Divine made a mistake. They have a tendency to want to kind of try to rattle their opponent, and I think they kind of woke the Bullies up, and they ended up winning that game 10-4 or something like that. And at the time, before it got chippy, it was 3-2 Born Divine, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this game is going to come down to whoever plays cleaner. And these have been the two best teams all weekend. And it was interesting talking to Francisco Arenas. He told us a couple of teams he was looking at to have deep runs. He did pick the Goons, and he also felt that this Funk team was going to have a good weekend. I kind of thought the Bullies were due to bust out, and they certainly have. Of course, these teams have secured paid entries to the 2024 SSA Class A Glove National Championship. And there's Pete. He hits a ground ball between third and short. That's what he basically does. He works that left side of the infield. Well, we caught a break earlier, Amalia. It got real dark here. Wind kicked up. Temperature dropped a lot. But it was such a fast-moving system that we didn't get nothing but a couple of spare raindrops. And here's Jamie Jacoby. And he just hits down on it. Ball had that underspin. It hung up in the air. Turned out to be a relatively easy catch for the left fielder out there, Church. And that's going to bring up Nick. Center fielder. And Nicky Marchese slashes one. Left fielder had it, but he hit the ground and tumbled, and the ball squirted out. Nicky Marchese, a hard sinking line drive. Left fielder caught it, but he couldn't hold on. And of course, Nicky Marchese Jr., related to his father playing right field, Nicky Marchese Sr. And when I was with Flashback, Nicky Jr. here was just a young pup. So Chris Aylworth, the first baseman, we did not see Nicky play And Aylworth drives one, left fielder going back, makes that catch. Runner on second tags, and that's a little bit of a mistake there. You got to tag and go to second on that. And Nicky Marchese Sr. is probably going to talk to Nicky Marchese Jr. after the game or maybe next half inning. So runners on the corner. I believe there's 2 outs here. No runs yet, so Nicky Jr. will be running. And there's a little ground ball to Christian, and they just get the... So Edwin made the turn. They would have had the double play, but there were already 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, who's a better brother, Christian or Jason Camarillo?
Huh?
Who's a better brother?
Who?
Camarillo.
Which one's your brother? Oh, is he? He seems a little calmer than you. Jason Camarillo asking for whether who's the better brother. So at the end of one complete inning, we got no score here. Very, very pleasant day right now. So it's going to bring up Freddie, Corey, and John for the Bullies. And a lot of times in these games when you got to win twice, you want to win by scoring early in the game to try to get to that if game. And after a hot day, both teams should feel a little refreshed with this cooler breeze now. And there's a ground ball off of Lentine. Caminetta just sticks a foot out to stop it from going into the grass. Leadoff man on. And brings up Corey. And I tell you, if you have the ability to hit the ball to right field, that's the spot where I think the ball's really going to carry today. So Freddie leads off with an infield single. And there he golfs it, and they'll get the out at second. And I got to tell you, I think Chris Aylworth made a little bit of a mistake there. He could have easily just stepped on first and tagged the runner. Instead, they'll switch Corey for Freddie. And it brings up John, the right fielder. So almost a double play, but when he came to catch the line drive, he bumped into the runner. Caminetta started out as an outfielder back in the day. I'm not following you. I don't know what you mean by who won, Israel. This is the first championship game. These guys did play in the winter bracket championship, and Funk came out ahead in a very close game. And here comes Drew. He was catching in the earlier game. He's at second for this one. And here's the throw down. And I think that Sal behind the plate was just doing it because Drew was catching. He kept throwing down to first all the time. And there's a little swing that's going to drift out of play. Foul. So 2 outs here. You could see the runner flying on the swing. Again, the live stream is powered by Gold Rush Gaming.
Go, Drew.
Put a little extra graphic on there. The Chicago Summer Series, baby. And there's a little ground ball up the middle. Long throw. Not in time. So Greg Winnick, ranging far to his right, caught the ball clean, couldn't do nothing with it. Again, I think Pete Caminetta took a deeper route. We talk all the time when the short center's moving to his right, you want the shortstop to cut in front of him. And it's going to bring up Edwin now. First and second, little flare, long way. Marchese cradles it. Rolled over, made the catch. So we'll head to the top of the two. No score in this first championship game. Coming up here for Funk, we're going to have Greg Winnick, Lou Labate, and Sal Petra Memola. We'll just call him Sal, who also runs and manages the team. I think they're planning already on coming out to Carroll Stream. And I mentioned to him that, you know, you do got to have uniform numbers on the back for the game changer, and it makes the substitutions a lot easier, as the scorekeepers can find the numbers a lot of times quicker than the name.
Hey, anything short you got to come across. Get. Look where Drew's at.
And they're missing their catcher.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he went to grab a bottle of water, and a little delay.
He had to finish his beer.
When I was running my teams, I always had a cooler, and I'd put $40 worth of water and Gatorade into the cooler before every game in the dugout. Craig Winnick. And a little ground ball snagged by the pitcher, and he throws it to first. Good job by Ant. And it brings up Lou Labate.
Corey, up! Corey!
So Big B post-tournament wrap-up coming this week. We'll also talk about the Nicky Lopez 16-inch softball classic and, of course, Papa Hops. Of course, Team SSA, put together by Mike Trump, won the Lopez tournament. How about that? Little ground ball, and it sneaks through the middle, base hit. Edwin looked a little hesitant going after that ball. I don't know if he thought the pitcher was going to make a play, or if the pitcher might have just got a finger on it, but it sneaks through. And here's Sal. He's way off the plate. And it sure looked like he was going to try to punch something into right field.
Okay, Ben. Come on, Sal. First shit, one back. A little bit right. A little bit more. A little bit more right, Joe. Right there.
And no, he tried to cut, but, you know, he was so wide of the plate and so deep. He had a long way to go to try to get there. Yes and no. I just think it depends on the team and what their pregame routine is. If you look at the big major tournaments, and there's a high fly ball, center fielder is there, AJ puts it away, and we'll head to the top of the third. No score. So Sean McHale flies out to end the inning. So it's going to be 10-11-1. Ant, AJ, and Christian. I think, Amalia, a lot of teams, they just focus on batting practice. And, you know, I used to always tell my teams, you know, depending on what time we were going to hit, I would always tell them I wanted them at the field 15, 20 minutes earlier, and I wanted them to put all their gear on, stretch, and throw. And then we would take batting practice, and when we got on the field and you had that 7 to 10 minute delay before the game would start, we would take ground balls, and you see a lot of the successful teams, flashback, signature, 45s, they all take infield,
Come on, AJ. Show it.
a little bit of infield just to handle the ball. And there's a long throw across. For out number one, it brings up AJ. And for example, at the No Glove, they got a soccer field. While we were taking batting practice, we'd have guys lined up fielding ground balls. So I think when your pregame prep
Here we go, AJ. Come on.
is
AJ.
good and it's not just based on swinging, your defense should not suffer out of the gate. And there's a little slow roller, and Winnick has a problem.
Can't teach speed.
One out base runner, good speed aboard with AJ.
Let's go. Let's go, AJ. Come on.
And here comes Christian.
Let's go.
I know he wasn't happy with his first at-bat leading the game off.
AJ. You gotta break that up.
And they're not really playing him very deep. Christian's, he's a solidly built kid. And he tried to go big, but didn't get the pitch to do it. Got crowded there. I think if you're Christian there, you want to get something maybe a tad heavier and a little bit on the outside and try to go hard to right center. So we got a Marchese in center and a Marchese in right. And it brings up Izzy. And I tell you, Izzy's all business. He gets in the box and he gets in his stance and he just sits there. And he pounds it on the ground to the third base coach. And you can see with 2 outs, AJ was already at second base almost by the time the coach fielded that foul ball. And right down the line, long throw in time. Safe, no bag. So Jimmy Evans, the umpire, said Chris Elwood was off the bag. So now they got runners out in the corner for Church. So that might be the first break of the game. Bang, bang, play. I'm not sure if my camera angle, because we're behind the bag, would catch that. Excuse me. But as they say, you can always rewind the tape. And Church hits a fly ball. Marchese is there, and he makes the catch. So the call is irrelevant. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Still no score.
No, that was a good call. That was a good call. You're right.
So it should be Frankie Lentine and Joe Fahey coming up here. And then the top of the lineup with Pete Caminetta. And again, I think the first game, you know, Pete doesn't pull the ball. They were playing him like a left-handed pull hitter. And his at-bat in this game, they were shifted over. He just hit it to a good spot. And you can almost really squeeze your short center, shortstop, third baseman, and you can really sneak your second baseman up the middle. So here's Frank Lentine, Jr. And of course, Frank Sr. had a slight incident, but we're here. He's doing well. And he looks like it just clipped the plate.
Watch the flip, Jack. Come in two. Jack, come in two.
That pitch called illegal. It was a little too flat. And he got that one up just enough to hit the 6 foot. And he swings and he chops it back to the pitcher. And that's going to be the first out. Whoa, and the ball's bouncing around. And Frank Lentine thought he was out. And didn't even run down here. Frank could have been called out for abandoning the field by going back to the dugout. So here's Joe Fahey, the second baseman.
did a decent job.
And there's a little soft fly ball. AJ is there, and he puts it away for out number 2. So here's Pete Caminetta on the top of the lineup. And if you're bullies, the longer the game goes and it's tied, that doesn't hurt you. Because you know the Funk doesn't want to go to the if game where anything can happen.
Hey, like earlier, right?
So the Chicago Summer Series in high gear, 3 legs down. And it's interesting when you look at the statistics, we got some young players starting to flash at the major level. And some A kids flashing too. And Pete goes up the middle, and Edwin is there. And he makes the catch. So now we're going to head to the top of the 4th. We still got no score. Spada, Freddie, and Corey coming up. Both teams right now playing a little tight. So congratulations to my guy Jibs Hernandez, as the Bagel Boys won their first Papa Hops tournament. Nico Garcia with the MVP. Sorry, I was hacking and coughing there. So here's Spada to lead off. Of course, the Nicky Lopez tournament. And Spada delivers a base hit. He takes the turn. Leadoff runner on. Here comes Freddie. And they didn't have an MVP, but Mike Trump told me if they did, Eddie Kozbababak. He's got a last name with a lot of letters in it. You all know him as Popcorn. Would have been the MVP. He had 5 triples and a walk-off homer in the championship game. And I couldn't feel happier. Popcorn, a good dude. And I know he plays for Menace, and you know, Brian Crosdale and Creed do a good job, but I was always a little surprised that he doesn't get a few more at-bats. And there's a bomb into the gap. One run's going to score. Freddie jogging to third. And they're going to send him. No outs. Now he slams on the brakes. Head first dive. Safe underneath. Freddie was running out of gas. I don't know if the camera picked it up, but to the naked eye, it looked like he just got the hand in there. And we got our first lead of the game. And you heard a lot of the guys on the Bullies yelling nobody out. Tremendous throw by the relay there. A bullet right on the money. It brings up Corey. And Corey, a little roller, that's going to score the second run. And he gets the run in, 2-0 Bullies here in the 4th. Brings up John. Now, Corey has the capability of flipping that and hitting the ball the other way. We've seen that from him. And that's okay. That's a good miss. When I say a good miss, he was trying to go to the right side. A bad miss would have been a line drive at first or second. So he was trying to elevate, but by missing and hitting it on the ground, he did get the job done. And there's a ground ball, and Frank Lentine isn't going to be able to make the play. And John is on, and it brings up Drew. So 1 out here only. 2 runs in. Bullies' first sign of offensive life from either team.
You gotta be smart. Look where he's playing. Anything over his head, you gotta go.
Well, they watered the fields before the get-back game. And he walks the dog down the right field line. He's going to try to go to three. Marchese a cannon, but Labate couldn't hold on, and that allows Drew to go to second. Throw was on target. Runner ball, everybody got there the same way. Labate tried to catch and tag, and now it's second and third one out for Edwin. And Funk has been scoring some runs, so if you're the Bullies here, you need to get at least one more in this inning. And it's up to Edwin now. And the infield's creeping in. And he pops it up, and that's going to be a tough second out. Infield was creeping in on him. And again, he was ahead in the count. Franklin team throwing illegal ball there. And that's why I say you got to settle into your at-bats. So here's Ant, the pitcher. Chance to help himself here now. And I think if you're Funk, you get out of this at 2 instead of 3 or 4, you'd be pretty happy. Ant takes that high with AJ on deck. Grabs a strike, full count. Now the runners don't have to go because they're not being forced off of their bags. And Ant hits it on the ground to Caminiti. Runner going by, throws a little wide. Drew's going to try to score, and he does. 4-0. So the runner jumped over the ball. Caminiti had to wait a tick before he could catch the ball. And then he threw it up the first baseline. And here's AJ. And AJ, little ground ball to Winnick. But in the inning, Bullies push 4 across. And as we head to the bottom of the 4th, they lead by 4.
Hey, they don't need shit without us.
So halfway through the ball game, Bullies lead 4-0. And it's going to be Jamie Jacoby, Nick Marchese Jr., and Chris Aylworth here in this inning, 2, 3, 4.
No, he wasn't out at 3. No, he wasn't. It was right back.
So now if you're Funk, Bullies have thrown down the gauntlet. They've broken the seal. So here's Jacoby. Takes that pitch inside. I think see Nicky Marchese's wife is here. And she's a trooper. And there's a little ground ball to Edwin, and he makes the play for out number 1. And I got to tell you, I know a few people on both these teams, and they both got a lot of nice people on there. So here's Marchese Jr. Takes that pitch inside. Hammer to hit his last time up. And there he goes big. Left fielder on his horse. Can't make the over-the-shoulder catch. Junior's going to stop at second, down 4. And he's not the tallest kid, but he got a little pop. So here comes Aylworth. 1 out runner at second. Funk looking for their first run of the ball game.
Hey, give him a little, John.
So Funk trying to get on the board here. And Elward pounds it into the alley. AJ will get to it, but Funk scores their first run of the ball game. And of course, as always, whenever we're here at Bulger Park in Melrose, here comes a pinch runner. No courtesies in the national championship tournament.
No, as a matter of fact, he was two. Hey, don't go here. Two everywhere. Two everywhere. Everywhere. Like straight up. Like now. Drew, you're right. You're right. Drew, hey.
And here's Nick Marchese, senior.
Hey, if you could get him, get him.
As always, whenever we're here, the staff here at the park, fantastic. And our guy Richie Arico working like a dog since Thursday.
John, look alive, John.
And Nicky tries to go the other way, and it bounces through Drew. Runners on the corner. And kids, that's not how you want to do it. He was backing up, and he was basically kind of standing up, just bending at the waist. The ball skipped. You got no chance. You got to come forward, and you got to be bent at the waist and the knees, and you got to keep your hands down.
Hey, off the line. Don't get beat here.
So here comes Greg Winnick. And there's a sky-high pop-up coming in, and they're going to throw to second.
Hey, that's the right place.
And that's a good job there. That's why I say you don't have to hit the ball 300 miles to drive a run in.
AJ.
And here's Lou Labate. Now there's a runner on first with two. They got 4-3 on the board. I don't know if that's accurate. Christian, he thought about going to second. And then when he saw he wasn't going to get Nicky Marchese, who's running with two outs, we'll check the score. I had it at 4-2, but they got it at 4-3. I'm not sure that's right.
Do a wheelie.
So we'll put it up there for now, but that's subject to change.
Right here, Drew. All you.
And here's Sal. Runners on the corners. And Sal, and that hit the runner. So you'd score that as a base hit for Sal and a fielder's choice.
Guys, come on. Let's get this shit back.
Yeah, it should be. Well, now they've changed it to 2. So we head to the top of the 5th, 4-2. So we had 3 scoreless innings, and all of a sudden we had 6 runs in the 3rd inning. Actually, we might be in the 5th inning here. Now they changed it. I got to stop questioning myself. So they got a pinch hitter here. And I'm trying to figure out who he's hitting for. I think he's hitting for Christian. You don't see your leadoff man get hit for, and he hits it hard down the line, and Sliding catch by the left fielder right on the foul line. Jamie Jacoby got over there, sat in a slide, caught it right about on the foul line. And here's Izzy. So good swing there, better defensive play. And that's the first out of the inning. And there's a strike to Izzy. And there's a little ground ball up the middle. Winnick. Izzy hustling, safe. Throw pulled Alworth off the bag. I think he might have left the bag too early. Chris kind of stretched out there with his right leg instead of shifting his feet and stretching out with the left. And as a result, he kind of got turned sideways on it. So one out here brings up Church with Spada on deck. We've seen Church before. This kid is not a bad hitter. And you don't really want to walk him to get to Spada. Spada's been one of the more consistent bully guys. Now it's a full count. Pickoff attempt had no shot. Again, there's only one out here. And Church, it's a ground ball to Caminetta over to Winnick to throw to first, not in time. They do get the lead runner. Good hustle by Izzy to get down there. And Greg Winnick has a tendency to catch the ball and just stay there. I'd like to see him maybe get to the bag a little sooner so he can catch it and move toward third base when he's making that throw. So now there's two outs. Church will be flying.
Swing through it.
And here's Spada. And I tell you, Marchese Jr., Jacoby, and Nicky Marchese are playing very close in. Long throw by Caminetta. And you can see Spada's got his right ankle heavily wrapped. So he had a little trouble getting out of the box.
Spada. Don't use the trophies bag. Hey, fellas, come on, man. Come on, there you go. Hey, start from down there. Stay down.
So we head to the bottom of the fifth, 4-2 Bullies. This is the first championship game of the 2024 SSA Playing for Peace Class B National Championship out at Bulger Park in Melrose Park, a western suburb of the city of Chicago, being brought to you live by the Slow Pitch Softball Association.
AJ.
And there's a little swing and a spinner. That's going to kick foul. I do got to tell all of you, it's been a long weekend. Gio might not get up until 2:30 tomorrow. No, that's not true because at some point my stomach's going to say, feed me. So that pitch is a little deep.
Chris, one in, Chris. You're not going to throw nobody out back there. I'm hugging that line, I'm sure.
And there's a long fly ball to center, and that's going to be an out.
Hey, John, watch your cup off. Stay here. John, come in, sir.
And that'll bring up Franklin Teen. So Sean McHale flies out, brings up Franklin Teen with Joe Fahey on deck. One out here, bottom of the fifth. And there's a little soft fly ball, and the right fielder, I don't know what happened there. He came in, went into a slide, and the ball was a couple of feet over his head. He got a hand on it, but if he stays on his feet, he probably makes that catch. Again, the wind pushing out that way. I think he thought it was going to sink, and it stayed high. And once he sat into that slide, he had no chance. So here's Joe Fahey, Pete Caminetta on deck. Fahey with an aggressive lead here. Catches a strike there, 2-2. And there's a little chopper. Christian comes in, makes the play. And they do grab it out. So now there's 2 outs. It's up to Pete Caminetta to drive in the run. Now, Pete doesn't run like he used to. He used to be lightning fast. But had a horrific ankle injury. You can tell when he runs, he's got a little bit of a giddy up hitch in there. And I tell you, Jamie Jacoby is just a dangerous looking hitter. And Pete showed you he'll walk. He walked twice, I believe, in the winter bracket game. And so
No damage, no damage, no damage.
brings up Jacoby. And I never liked that as a hitter. You've got coaches and everybody telling them what to do. Oh, I see. He couldn't find his bat. Guess he used somebody's bat this inning, and the Funk guys were kind of hiding it. But he's a dangerous-looking hitter. And in a lot of ways, you would have been better off making Pete hit his way on because he's not a guy that necessarily drives the ball. So Jamie Jacoby does drive the ball, and he hits it very hard through the infield. And there's a bullet through the infield, right on cue. 1 run is in. Caminetta's going to try it, and Christian dropped the relay. So with 2 outs running on the swing, with the bobble on the relay, Caminetta scores, and we're tied at 4. And that's why I said you would have been better off making sure Caminetta swung, because you did have a fielder's choice at second. And Nicky Marchese right to Edwin, and he steps on the bag. But we are tied heading to the 6th, 4-4. Bullies trying to force the if game. Funk trying to end it right now. So Jacob Jacoby comes through with a 2-out, 2-run single to tie the ball game. And I got to tell you, Funk, between Jacoby and Nicky Marchese Jr., they got a couple of real good-looking young kids on this team. I don't know how long Funk will be able to hold on to him, to be honest with you. Of course, Nicky Marchese, longtime flashback guy, if he continues to develop, he might be on Flash's radar. So here's Freddie, airmailed a triple over the top of Marchese, and he hasn't seemed to learn his lesson. He hasn't really moved back. Either has Nicky, and that Breeze still pushing out there. And he pounds it down the line. That's a fair ball. That's going to roll. Left fielder sliding. And that ball was not out of play. Looked like it was going to roll out of play, but the left fielder picked it up in the field of play. And this Freddie just keeps pounding missiles all over the place. And now they're going to pinch run for him here in the 6th with Munoz.
Corey, what a hit, Corey!
And that's going to bring up Corey. So lead off double by Freddie, who's also got a triple. If he goes yard and gets a single, he can hit for the cycle. And he yells go, and thank God Munoz wasn't listening. And I don't understand the philosophy there. I'd rather have Corey, who's a pretty good hitter, trying to get an actual base hit. Because with nobody out, you got 3 cracks at scoring your pinch runner.
Come up, John. Go, John.
And if you are going to go that way, you better make sure you put it on the carpet. And I'm not sure if that was a mistake. Safe. So John gets on, hit the ball and hit a little dribbler. So with 1 out now, runners on the corner for Drew. So the Bullies may be dumb lucking their way into a lead here. Because you're certainly not trying to push a guy to third with 2 outs because he's going to score from second. You want John to get a hit. And Drew, way out of play. I had visions of Chris Alworth running me over there. I don't think he was going to change direction. The ball was way out of play. Hello, Colleen. You're becoming a regular. So here's Drew now. Now Drew can scoop. So if he doesn't hit this ball hard, he'll be tough to double up if he lays it on the carpet.
Hector, you got to take up.
And Drew hits an infield pop-up. And the Bullies here are failing to execute. And what should have been at least a 1-run inning here in the top of the 6th, they got a pinch hitter for Edwin. And the Bullies are going to be looking here for a 2-out hit to salvage this inning. So we are live from Bulger Park and Melrose Park, 2024 SSA Playing for Peace Class B National Championship Tournament. This is the first championship game. If Funk wins, they're national champions. Bullies win, we go to the if game.
John, on the swing.
And don't worry, folks. I got my mega battery plugged into my phones, so we will have plenty. So 2-2 on the count.
Swing hard. Go ahead. Get big, John. Get big, John. Big, John.
And there's a little chopper. Fahey in the dirt. Elworth digs it out. Lack of execution there.
Hey, shake off. Jason, shake off. Hey, play defense. Play defense.
That is just a lack of execution. We'll see if that comes back to bite the Bullies. As there was just a little ground ball there. They got the leadoff double. Didn't move them. They had first and third with 1 out. And they're just, but that's part of the process when you're a B team. These are things that you learn. Here's Chris Alworth, first baseman. And he hits a fly ball to short right, and it drops. So respecting Chris's power, just kind of guided it over the infield. So I think they're looking at maybe getting a runner. It is the bottom of the 6th. They haven't run for Chris. Nicky Marchese Sr. in the box.
Time looks alive.
And Nicky hits a ground ball and it gets past Christian. And that's a perfect example. That was a little slow roller. AJ did get on it, but there was no chance for Alworth. And now there's nobody out, first and second. We see this all the time when a team should have put something up and they don't. We see the other guys get a little jump or a little juice, as I like to say. Brings up Greg Winnick. This is the first championship game.
Why are we doing this?
And he stepped out, but I think he called that a ball because the pitcher was already in his motion. And now they're going to pinch run for him. They're saying it's the second time they've run for him. Here's Greg Winnick. If they ran for Chris earlier, then yes, he's out of the game now. Not sure who's going to jump over and play first base. I see a guy grab the ball over there. He's going to go start playing catch. And there's a sky-high pop-up. Here's the throw to third. He throws it to second, first out of the inning. So Greg Winnick did move the runner to third. One out, I believe, for Lou Labate. And we're in the bottom of the sixth. Now, Lou's got to keep a couple of things in mind. And there's two ways bullies can play this. They can bring their infield in and try not to let that run score. But if Labate, and he does hit the ball hard, if he hits a hard one-hopper at an infielder, you got a great opportunity to twist and get out. So we'll see what they wanted to do. So you can either play for a double play, hope he pops up or hits a line drive at somebody. And I think it's a mistake to bring your outfield in. If he dumps it in front of you, you don't want to take the chance. Of course, they got the catcher, Sal, on deck. He's not really a power guy. And Labate just makes sure. And they're going to, he makes a mistake, but no tag. But they do take the lead. That's a good job by Labate. And I'm not going to show you the strategy in case somebody in the Bullies team is watching. But I think it's common sense to think that a guy doesn't run down here with two outs to talk to you about something. We're here to record history, not change it. Although we have changed the history of 16-inch softball, so that's a lie. So two outs here. And this is, I think, the guy you want to get out here. You don't want to go deeper because if you do tie the game, you want to be at the bottom of the lineup. And he just grounds it up the middle. Marchese stopped that second. So these are big in the context that they're creeping back toward the top of the lineup. Sean McHale, the ninth place hitter. And the top of the Funk lineup, pretty good. And there's a hard ground ball off of Edwin. Another run's going to score. First and second. And I don't like that play by Christian. The runner was going back. And he just pounded it between Edwin and Christian up the middle. 6-5, 6-4. Excuse me. Brings up Franklin Teen. Joe Fahey on deck. So the Bullies having a hard time getting out of this inning. It was tied at 4. And they're going to bring in a pinch runner. I think he said O'Brien, Pat O'Brien. Franklin Teen in a position here to get a big hit and really push the lead out.
Hey, Drew, deep it up. Hey, get it high.
Two out, runners on the corner. Funk has taken the lead here in the bottom of the 6th.
We got 2, let's go. Come on, bring it into it. Christian, quick pass, let's go. Come on, Frank.
Check the roster.
Who you hitting for? Get this out.
Takes that pitch as a strike. 3 call. A little too close to take there. So do or die, top of the 7th. Bullies need a deuce to continue the game. 3 and they'll win, take the lead. 2 to continue. Anything less, and Funk will be your national champions. So before the inning starts, folks, I'm going to grab a little water. And there's a leadoff pop-up out of play. Jacoby couldn't get there. So they're saying the ball got hung up in a tree out there.
We got a new ball now, boys. We got a new ball.
And that's the delay. So they'll throw a ball, they'll let, and that looks like a pretty brand new ball. Chu went over there to look at it. They're bringing in a brand new ball. If you're the Bullies, you don't care about that. But somebody on Funk threw that ball in. I don't know if Francisco Arenas flipped it over the screen or not. So top of the 7th here, leadoff man. So Corey leading off. I think it's Corey. And that's going to be an easy catch. Jacoby, he lifted his hands up. Actually, that was a pinch hitter for Ant. And I think now they're hitting for AJ with Christian on deck. 1 out here, top of the 7th. Takes a strike. Two outs away. 1 out away from a national championship. Brings up Christian with Izzy on deck. If you're Funk, you probably want to get Christian out here because Izzy's been hitting the ball pretty hard. And we have seen Izzy go the opposite way. And with that breeze blowing out that way, you don't want to put that tie in the box. And there's a flip, and he walks the dog. Christian took a big turn, but he'll come back. So Christian keeps the game open, alive, as he walks the dog down the right field line. And now it brings up Izzy.
Base to base.
Church on deck. So I'm not sure what the first baseman's doing. He's giving up a lot of acreage.
Have a conversation.
He was playing right on the bag. There was a huge hole over here. Finally, somebody on Funk told him to back up outside, and that goes off of Christian. I don't think I've seen this many throws from a catcher to first base all season, let alone in one weekend. We are in the top of the seventh, and here's Izzy. And they walk him. So they put the tying run on base for Church. And Izzy says he's good. There's 2 outs. He's running on the swing. So Bullies, 2 outs here. And there's a strike. Looking for a little magic.
Get a big lead here. Yeah, there you go. Big lead.
And you see Izzy being very aggressive on the lead. First baseman real deep.
Right on you, Chris.
And Church, a little ground ball up the middle. Little bobble by Fahey. Christian no reason to go. That run doesn't mean anything. The bases are now loaded. The tying run's at second. Here comes Spada. With 2 outs, Izzy's going to be running. He'll score to tie. And Church, a little bit faster. He is the left fielder. Any kind of a stretch single, and the Bullies might take the lead. And the reason why we have a delay, they're trying to figure out if they got anybody left to run for Izzy. But that isn't really your concern. He's running on the swing, and Spada way out of play. Spada's a blunt instrument. I don't know if he's trying to cut. About the only place where there's a base hit that Izzy might not score is if you dump something in front of Jacoby. And Spada has got a huge hole on the right side up the middle. Greg Winnick way over toward third. And that pitch a little high. Nice try by Franklin Teen.
Go get the lead here.
And Spada guides it. Fahey makes it. And Funk wins the 2024 Playing for Peace Class B National Championship. No if game tonight. Well played game. Bullies had that one inning where they failed to score. And in the bottom half of the 6th, Funk pushed a couple across. So I think at the end of the day, Bullies will have a long conversation with their group about execution. Funk goes clean, and they win the national championship. So we'll show you the MVP presentation. Teams will line up for a picture. Chew. Can we get you guys at home plate? A picture.
Hey, home plate, boys.
So, if you are bullies, you're disappointed. So we'll be taking pictures here. Frank Arenas got the $10,000 camera over there. And that's nice. The SSA National Championship Series banner. Frank giving them words of encouragement. And a lot of the progress that they made during the season came from playing in the Los Barachos Winter League out at Intentional Sports. And you see Frank taking pictures. So we'll have the pictures up. So good job by bullies. They didn't lay down. They had the bases loaded with 2. Spada couldn't come through. And you see them rocking their nice SSA National Champion hats. That's nice swag there.
Let's go. Let's go.
And we'll have the MVP presentation. And we'll get a few words with the MVP. See Jerry Brown's out here to present the MVP. And there's the championship hardware.
Okay. That's me. Congratulations, guys. Great tournament. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So taking a few pictures with Jerry Brown and the manager, Sal.
Thank you very much.
And you see Nicky Marchese's wife and his daughter here. They're having some fun watching their husband, son, and dad, brother win a national championship.
Booties on 3. 1, 2, 3, booties!
And it looks like Chris Alworth might be the MVP.
Jerry Brown.
Congratulations. Outstanding tournament.
Thank you very much.
Something for you.
Thank you very much.
So I got to raise the camera, Chris, but how do you feel, man?
I feel really good. I give a lot of credit to Sal. This is Sal's team. Sal loves this stuff. Sal's a great guy. He does a lot to us. Frankie Lentini's out here battling for us. We got a lot of guys that could have had this, to be honest with you. Sal, I appreciate Sal a lot.
There you go. Come over here, Sal. Let's get a few words with you, man. How's it feel, man? You got this funk team?
30 years of 20 plus years, a lot of park games, handful of Sundays, but when you get that 2-0, you know, it's a big difference when you're 2-0 coming into a Saturday or Sunday. So we had a lot of confidence. When, honestly, we played phenomenal defense. So, I mean, these guys are great. My buddy Greg is an original funk guy. We started this in 2007, and Irish Shimmy. So we got 3 original funk guys, and this is like our first real championship. So this means a lot to the 3 of us. So.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm very impressed with a couple of young pups you got on the team, Jacob Jacoby and Nicky Marchese Jr.
Little Nicky, rising star. Jay, most guys know Jay. Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
We're trying to party now, Gio.
Yeah, a lot of good young guys. That's always been the struggle with this team. We've had a lot of good young guys the last couple of years. We were in Forest Park in the A-League. And you know what happens when you get good young guys? Guys, they start picking them off and poaching them. And it's been hard to keep trying to keep these younger guys, you know, who knows what next year's going to bring. Maybe we'll jump back in. But I got to give a lot of credit to, you know, we brought up 2 vets, Nicky Marchese Sr., I mean, neighborhood guy, Galewood guy. That means a lot for him to come out here and help his son and help us. Frank Lentine, man, I can't believe I'm giving Frank this much credit. We battle at the bar all the time, nonstop. But he held it together for 5 games, and I said, just give me 5 games, and he did because we didn't want to play 6.
So are we going to see you in Carroll Stream?
Yeah, we'll be out there. Hopefully, we can get everybody. So, yeah.
So I want to talk to everyone so that for next year's draw. So, trying to organize a tournament and trying to give everyone, there's a lot of times, 'cause I know some teams play in leagues. I wasn't able to accommodate Sal this year, and we had a long conversation, and we were maybe about a minute away from just saying, hey man, you know what? We're just gonna walk away and we're not gonna play because they got a Thursday night slot at 7 p.m., which was kicking off the tournament. And we were having conversations, and we're like, hey, maybe it'll work out next year. But there's always a silver lining somewhere. And you went from almost not being in the tournament to coming out, playing multiple games. And congratulations, Sal.
No, thank you, Frank. And honestly, I just want to say, Frank, I'm a big advocate of the Bs, meaning like I would love to see SSA start a B League. A good starting point, because we got a lot of young guys out here, and everyone's like, well, where do we start? And it's hard to come out in Melrose, hard to come out in Forest Park and throw them into the Wolves in the A-League. I saw like that Woodpeckers team. God, that team looked pretty good. They looked very battle-tested for playing some really good teams, but if they had a better starting point, I think, you'll see more teams, younger teams will start pushing those A teams. But hopefully I talked to Frank. Hopefully maybe something that works. We'll try to get a B League rolling somewhere locally on the north side. Because the north side it's got a lot of kids that want to play. And like I said, when I grew up, it was Norwich. We had the C League. You had to win the C League in order to get to the B League. You had to win the B League to get to the A League. And there's just not a lot of that. But I think we could get it back to that point. I see a lot of really good, fun kids. They ask me all the time. I said, I know, we got to find you a good starting point because I have younger kids, and it's hard sometimes to trust. Hey, am I going to bring them out here against, let's just say Meatball City, for example, whatever, and you throw a kid out and left. He might not want to come back if he gets beat up in a few games. But like I said, Jamie has been with me on and off. He started with Trash. I was with JT and Trash. Jamie was like 17, 18 years old, man. And I remember everyone kind of threw him at short, and I'm like, just stay with this kid. This kid is good. And to me, Jamie is one of the best left fielders in the game. Given the opportunity. Dom's not bad either, but I don't want Dom's head to get too big because Dom's a great baseball player, and I want him to keep playing ball.
Okay, there's Sal, the manager of Funk. And I'm going to try to catch my guy, Nicky Marchese, because I've been in the trenches with Nicky when I was at Flashback. I want to see how much it meant to him to play with his son. So, Nick. So, and there's Mrs. Marchese. So, how much fun did you have being able to come out, play with your son, and win a national championship?
Oh, it's great. That's why I try to get out there, to play with him. It's once in a lifetime thing, because who knows how long, so longer I could play. But it was good, very good. It's fun, a lot of fun.
Well, it looked like you had fun, and that's the real first time I saw Junior play, and he's got a chance to be pretty good.
Yeah, he's fast, he swings hard, it's strong. Hopefully, a lot of these kids don't like to play a lot, so hopefully he plays a little bit more and learns how to play the game a little bit.
And who knows, maybe Jibbs will make him a legacy on Flashback.
Yeah, maybe, we'll see.
All right, Nicky, I love you, buddy. All right, been in a lot of wars with Nicky Marchese from my Flashback days. And I tell people all the time, if I had 10 of them on the team, I wouldn't lose very often. So that's going to pretty much wrap up the coverage of the 2024 Playing for Peace Class B National Championship. Fun championship game. And Bullies tried to come back. There's the MVP. Don't get that head dirty. That's a walking around head. So, I'm wearing it at the bar right now. This is all I got for you. So we're going to sign off. And we hope you enjoyed the coverage. I know Gio's going to enjoy his day off tomorrow. And we'll get some pictures and other material up for both the Nicky Lopez, the Papa Hops, and of course this event. So hang in there, like our page, tell your friends. Best 16-inch softball coverage in the country.